Testing, testing. All right. Okay. All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. It is Tuesday, November 8th, 2022. Happy Election Day in the United States for midterm elections. That's pretty much the whole thing today. That's pretty much what we're waiting for. Again, I believe the polls are open on the East Coast. I don't know exactly. But I think the polls close. The first ones close at 7 p.m. So I'll be watching tonight. Join me on Twitter if you are interested in all the news in regarding politics, the polls, or results. I'll make sure to post what I can when I can and verify through multiple sources, not just one. There's some really great sources for news out there on Twitter. Some really great follows. Feel free to take a look at who we follow and follow them yourself, or if not, you could just follow us, turn on notifications, and you'll get everything on your phone or on your desktop if you're using TweetDeck, for example. Okay, let's go ahead and go over the market this morning. Let's go and bring up TOS. All right, Dow futures are up 121 points, Nasdaq up 84, S&P 500 is up 0.43%. We'll expand this. Russell 2000 up 0.47%. This morning, crude oil is down about 1%, gasoline futures of about 0.58%. 10-year yields are down 4.186%. Dollar index is up slightly, 110.36. VIX is up 0.21%. Quickly on S&P futures, again, we're green this morning. We're above the 200 on the hourly. That's great news. That was resistance yesterday. We are now above the 50 moving average on the daily. So again, 3907, 3900 is my target. That would basically just retrace all of Powell. This is where Powell was, and this is where we got to the bottom, and then here we are on the way up. If you wanted to make things a little easier or simplify things, we can always add some fun studies like a Fibonacci retracement right here at the bottom at 3704. We'll go to the most recent peak of Powell speaking. We are now at the 38.2 fib. Your next resistance is at 38.59 on S&P futures. We did have SPY calls yesterday. We clocked it for 30%. I am personally still holding my contract, so I'll probably close them in a little bit. We had 30% on Friday, and then we had 30% again on yesterday. So it was a good idea just to take it. I don't have many contracts. I only have two. So it's not a lot of risk on the board for me anyways. Gold futures down 0.23%. Silver futures down 0.16%, with the dollar being a little higher. Copper is up 1% this morning. We talked about copper yesterday. Euro dollar exactly at parity, 1.000, 19 pips to the downside, 146.35 on the dollar yen. That's down 27 pips. Pound dollar 114.50, down 66 pips. Bitcoin and Ethereum taking a hit this morning because of FTX headlines. Let me make sure I get that headline for you. Crypto market stumbles. Let's go ahead and read the exact headline. This is from Forex Live on Twitter. And the crypto market has lost 5% in the last 24 hours. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Pushing capitalization track below 1 trillion. The steep fall in FTT affected Bitcoin and Ethereum and pulled back significant market spectrum. Bitcoin is now trading at 19.8, with the most substantial losses coming in the Asian session, filled with algorithmic traders pushing the price back to 19.4 at a certain point. It is noteworthy that the sell-off did not follow the sell-off in the first and second cryptocurrencies in the markets. So that was really just the headline, the information. Let's see. I don't have anything here. The FTX. There was an FTX headline. Make sure I can find it. Here we go. Amid FTT. There you go. Not FTX. FTT. Crypto prices fall most in 2 weeks amid FTT macro risk. Binance's FTT sale. This is what happened. Industry Stability decided to sell 530 million of FTT, the native token of FTX. So that's what created the plunge. Tokens FTT plunged 18%, and Solana, which is backed by FTX, nearly 20% this morning. That's why crypto is down. Interesting enough, we're still above the lows from 2017. I believe that was right around 19,000, so slightly above that currently. Let's go ahead and go over the macro quickly. Then we'll talk some election stuff and we'll answer some questions. The dollar, again, our target 109.54. We're at 110.33. Not really much to go by. 10-year yields, you can see there is a gap to fill here at 4.080. If we go ahead and bring up on the Bloomberg terminal, let's go and bring up the yields right now. Here is the 2-year yield. Again, this tracks mostly Fed funds futures, short term. We are down right now at 4.7%, and the 10-year yield, we're at 4.18%. Yield curve is still inverted. Nothing has changed there. Going back to, let's go ahead and go to crude quickly. Energy is on fire, as we know. Crude oil is above 90, 91.05 actually. We'll go to the 3-week chart, 3-year chart to take a look. We are now right sitting on the 20 on the weekly. Let's go to the daily. We're right sitting on the 100. We're a little more ways away from the 100 on the S&P, but we're right there on the 100 on oil stocks. I mean, at least on crude oil. So again, it's a very binary event today, and I want to pivot into the elections. If you are, let's say, long oil, a Republican win or Republican wave would boost oil stocks. Would I want to get into oil stocks the night before? No. Or the day before? No. I think we just wait here. There's too much risk out there, at least with today, guys. What you really want to look for today is if you have a Republican red wave, you would get oil and you would get the banks to go higher. Regulatory, possible tax cuts. Nothing has been said in regards to tax cuts. That's my assumption. So again, we'll see where that goes. But again, that's if the Republicans are expected to take the House. Again, historically speaking, this is what happens. So it shouldn't be a surprise. And then the Senate, again, that's a little more competitive. If the Republicans take the Senate as well, that would be a boon to the market and the oil stocks, energy sector, excuse me, and the banks as well. So again, that's something you're looking for. If you are expecting just straight gridlock, nothing really changes. Maybe the Republicans just take the House and they gridlock the Senate, or they're split and even. I think the market would kind of just cheer that, but not as much. Again, energy may get a little bit of a boost, but not as much as a red wave would. Now, again, the other side of this is if the Democrats do hold on. That is definitely a possibility. You can't discount possibilities. It can just get wacky. I remember very vividly in 2016 that Brexit was no shot. No way that's going to happen. It happened. There is no way Donald Trump wins the presidency. That happened. COVID affecting elections or COVID affecting the economy never happened. It happened. It happens. It's just crazy out there. So to have anyone give you predictions is one thing. I understand there's a lot of pollsters out there, but we won't know till we know. But I will tell you this. If you are watching tonight, usually the case, we saw in 2020, Republican voters go in person. In Pennsylvania alone, a very big battleground state for governor and for senators. Understand, and of course, the Congress people, representatives, excuse me, understand that during the first wave of voters, you may see Republicans winning in the beginning because they more likely to vote in person. Yet Democrats are more likely to vote early. Usually, that's kind of the assumption, or kind of the allegorical kind of thing like that, where everyone just kind of agrees on that point. So if I believe in Pennsylvania, the polls close at 8 or 7. I may be wrong. So once they close, they'll start counting the ones that are in person. And again, I read this on the Wall Street Journal and the Washington Post. So then what they do is they count the initial votes, and then they start working on the mail-in ballots. Yeah, people still mail in their ballots. Again, there's soldiers overseas that mail their ballots in, that have been doing that forever. And then you also have the people who voted early. They vote backwards. So again, that's kind of the expectation. I mean, we could have one of those things where it's just in court for the next week, where everyone's suing each other for son, and no one concedes, and we're just back to gridlock. So I don't think that's a good thing either. I don't know what to expect, but I remember Brexit. I remember the 2016 election. I remember the 2020 election very vividly. And I remember very specifically, I was told, if this happens, this will happen. And it didn't. In 2016, everyone said, if Trump wins the election, we're going to tank. It tanked initially, and we had one of the best stock market years in 2017. Brexit happened, same deal. Pound was extremely volatile. 2018 midterms, we were tightening as well in the Fed, and then we went ahead and bottomed. So again, Guys, these are just the things that happen. Again, take it in stride. Whatever you want to vote for, however you want to vote, just watch and observe. That's all you can do. If you voted, your job is done, I guess. And if you haven't voted, go vote if you want. Just vote for who you want to run the country or what direction you want it to go. That is your right as an American citizen, naturalized citizen, what have you. It's very important. My family, they all vote. I mean, I'm child of two immigrants, obviously, so they both vote, and that's something that I think everyone at least put your word in on what you want. That's kind of important. So, with that being said, I know it's so much information, but again, that's the expectation moving forward, guys. It could be just a weird election night. There's a lot riding on it in terms of both parties. I mean, Republicans want control, Democrats want to hold. They want to make the November surprise or blue wave. Probably unlikely, but could happen. I don't know the percentage points on that, but again, I have watched a lot of NFL. I've watched a lot of politics. I've watched a lot of sporting events and always expect the unexpected. It is too wild out there. I'm not going to put any risk on the board. I will sit on my hands. At worst, if I had to gun to my head, I'm buying a hedge to the downside just in case of wackiness. For all we get today, guys, we could get a nice sword job in the evening and then it reverses and then we end up break even tomorrow or slightly red. Who knows? Do you want to put risk on the board for that? Probably not. Probably not. All right, let's answer some questions. Do market historically rally on actual election day? Not not exactly on election day. Results, yeah, you usually get some rallies. It just depends on the vote and what's the expectation. The market likes when expectations are met, if we notice that. Whether it's earnings, whether it's politics, whether it's a speech, it doesn't matter. The market likes to be reassured. The market doesn't like change. So any change in terms of the deviation of what expectation, we don't want that. So again, if the red wave is what the market wants, they win the House and they take the Senate. That's what the market's kind of pricing in for possibly today. And I think that if they do, we would probably get to 3,900. We would just retrace the whole Powell move. And again, we don't know what happens after that because that's the 100-day moving average on the daily. So there's so many moving parts. We're just gonna have to wait and see. As someone who watches the NFL every single Sunday, there's betting spreads, there's spreads, and listen, man, I saw the New York Jets beat the Buffalo Bills. Okay, anything is possible. That was a crazy game. Best buying opportunity on crypto to you in very moment. I would say the best possible chance to buy some would probably be around 18.5. That's the logarithmic chart bottom. That trend line that we had on Bloomberg that I've showed you guys many times. I think it's 18.3. Granted, IDCA, I dollar cost average, it is so difficult to trade crypto. It is so difficult to time it. It is just easier to set aside some money and to put it every so often. And then it's just autoplay, man. Let it ride that way. And you still have the exposure to crypto. Morning, Carlos. Thoughts on adding Google or Amazon today? Not today. Of all days, there's too much we don't know. Again, we could fall more tomorrow if the Democrats possibility, they take the Senate, they take the House. Who the hell knows? And before all you know it, all this, we're back to 3,600 tomorrow, 3,500, 30. I mean, I can't even fathom what can happen because I have no idea. So let's wait. Let's just wait and see what happens with the election. There's no need to rush into anything. We're just going to observe and record and just wait. Think of it as the scientific method. If you guys remember back in elementary school or middle school, what have you, again, you have your problem, you have your hypothesis, you have your control, you have your research, you have your references. Again, we're just observing and research, or we used to call it control. Research and observe, watch everything if you like today. What I would recommend, if you had to trade and use your fingers, demo. Go ahead and pick a side. Bullish or bearish, put all the fake money you want and try it out. Record that and see how you did. I do that with sports. I do my sports picks on my notes. And again, I just track how I do. And then I just get better over time. No betting, no money, just demo. And again, to me, it's a way to kind of sharpen the shank, if you will. So with that being said, guys, I don't expect much today. I wouldn't expect much today until election night. It should be fun. I will be up tonight. I will be tweeting. Make sure to follow me at GAR Capital for all the news and headlines. May the best man win or best woman win in each race. I hope you guys do vote. Let your voice be heard. It is so important to vote because so many people, so many of our military have died, or so many people have died in drought civilization for the right to vote. It's so important. So again, takes a couple minutes out of your day. Just go ahead and mark it and drop it in the box. Whatever you vote for, whatever you want is up to you. I mean, just go ahead and let your voice be heard. That's what it's really all about. Thoughts on XPH? I don't know much about XPH personally, so let's just go ahead and chart it like we would just do some technical analysis. On the hourly, not much edge. Yeah, lots of selling in some of the major holdings there. Yeah, definitely. Well, are you talking about XPH? Okay, you're talking about the EPH, XPH ETF. Let's see what it is exactly. This is pharmaceuticals. Oh, okay, pharma. I do have some pharma exposure. I own some Merck. And I also own, well, not really United Health is not biotech. But again, when it comes to XPH or pharma, understand that pharma is very cyclical because it takes money to get research, R&D and everything like that. When money is a little tight and you're shoring up your balance sheets like these major pharmaceuticals, really when you're buying pharma companies, again, XPH, you could do IBB as well. That's another biotech index. I have traded that during COVID, made some money with investment clubs. So again, I do like it in terms of trading it. It's a very cyclical sector. So again, when you are researching certain drugs and doing trials, it is like a lotto ticket at the end of the day, very binary. If they beat, it soars. If they miss, it tanks. Always been that case. Many people have tried to trade aggressive small cap biotech stocks. It's happened. It's very cyclical. So again, when things open up, things ease up. I think XPH would be a little better. Here, we're just not sure. There is a gap to fill at 44. Maybe you can grab 7% on that if you do get a little bit of a risk on. Again, I already said I think the bottom is in at least for the year personally. And again, been wrong before, not an issue. I mean, we'll see what happens, but I would not be pushing XPH yet. No, at all. So, but yeah, there is some selling in those major holdings there. Absolutely. Let's see the major holdings together. Let's see it. What are some of the major holdings of XPH? I was watching just yesterday, Walgreens, again, Boots Alliance. That's a company that's pretty rock solid with a great balance sheet, and they're down year to date. So again, a lot of it is just market forces due to ETFs. So let's go to holdings on XPH. We'll take a look at it together. We have Axum, Cassava. Okay, so these are all pretty much drug companies, a little more aggressive. Axum, Cassava, I'm assuming they're a little more high beta. Johnson & Johnson is pretty as safe as it gets. Bristol Myers has been a little bit volatile. Pfizer is a Dow component. We know that. Over the rest, I'm surprised I don't have Merck, but I have Merck. Merck is a great company. That's the one I own. But again, I love ETFs as well. ETF holdings gives you the excuse me, it gives you the diversification that you would in a mutual fund, for example. So again, I like XPH, just not here, not yet. We may have a little more to go. So we'll leave it there, Austin. Thanks again for the question, guys. I hope you guys have a really great rest of your day. We'll catch you guys on Twitter later on tonight for election night coverage as it comes in. And we'll see you tomorrow for the morning. No, we'll dissect everything as we go. And then, of course, Thursday, we have CPI. So always fun. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the morning note. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Cheers.